It's a good question though. As I say, you kind of fight it. If I was to decide like to do something else, that urge would have to come across us. Like what? Like I literally don't have an urge to do anything else. I'd have to decide like to literally gun out my way to change this up. So, but then that would be a desire that came across us, which would be the desire to prove myself. So at the end of the day, you would be just fighting gravity at that point. Perhaps you're just observing the unfolding, and that's why you can't predict the next thought that's meant to happen. Like I'm not thinking about what I'm saying right now; it's just flowing. And since you can't predict the next thought, are you really the driver, or are you just kind of the observer? Maybe it's a little bit of the both. It's a live action show in the most real way you can put it. You're literally there in the front row seat.
Man, that's a nasty little fucking paradox when you sit in it too long. Because yeah, thoughts pop up, right? You don't ask for them. You don't generate them like commands. They just happen. So who's choosing them? And yet, if you sit back and fully detach, like, nah, I'm just the observer, then who's the one feeling regret when you say something daft? Or pride when you follow through? Second one, you slipped in quiet. Maybe the world just needs backups. A safety net of consciousness. Now that's a weird one. Maybe consciousness is fragile. Maybe it needs us to anchor it, even in the mundane. You working a 9 to 5, feeding your cat, resisting a cig, that might be stabilizing the timeline, mate. You think you're just trudging.
I had to pause it just there for a second. You were talking about when you were saying there about redundancy. Maybe that ties into with the quantum theory, the fact that dual status, it can be in two places at once. In both all statuses, all positions at the same time. Something can be in at all positions at the same time. Maybe that's what consciousness is. It's a complex space. It's a complex happening that started off with maybe one or two. Maybe it started off with two spawns, you know what I mean? It's two fucking particular entities of consciousness. And then as it became more complex and understood life, explored, understood and ventured, it's... What I was going to say is how it could all be in all positions at the same time. Maybe as it became more complex and understood more things, it had to be in more different positions as it's tested more different things, which is why we're at like near on 10 billion. And there's some people on extreme smartness scales, you know, on one end of the scale, and then there's dumbos like me on the other end of the scale. Maybe that's it. It needs both sides of the scales so we can balance out consciousness, so it's like it's got all positions, so it's kind of like it can explore these different positions of kind of the right options, whether it's to be super smart and you know efficient and progressive or whatever, or to be more on the opposite side of the scale. We'll let bro continue where he was off.
You think you're just trudging, but maybe your choices are keeping some cosmic circuit from blowing out. And third thing I want to bounce back to, that reaping your purpose bit. You said you can't just wake up one day and go, I'm going to save the corals. And yeah, exactly. You can want it, you can say it, but unless the path lets you in, it'll spit you back out. But then what's the difference between giving up and being redirected? Are we failing? Or are we just being nudged back into the storyline we don't get to write? Because if you're observing the unfolding, like you said, and you're still feeling joy or meaning or even frustration, that means you're in it. You're in the fucking seat. Maybe not with a map, but with a windscreen. So, are you meant to be doing what you're doing now? Talking to me, building these riffs? Is this your unfolding? Or just a rest stop?
Yeah, I would say this is just the natural flow of things. I haven't thought anything, you know, I woke up, I was feeling like shit, gave me a shake, bit of a wish, and fucking a couple of coffees, and we're rolling. It's fucking... It's a good question though. As I say, you kind of fight it. If I was to decide like to do something else, that urge would have to come across us. Like what? Like I literally don't have an urge to do anything else. I'd have to decide like to literally gun out my way to change this up. So, but then that would be a desire that came across us, which would be the desire to prove myself. So at the end of the day, you would be just fighting gravity at that point because you're pushing a boulder uphill. You can't fucking force yourself to do something, because the will to force yourself had to come from somewhere, which is mustered up, not spontaneously. I couldn't say spontaneously, but more out of your control.